Good afternoon, everyone. It's Thursday, April 2nd, just past 4 o'clock in the afternoon. This is Finding the Advaita, or the Non-Dual, in A Course in Miracles. And today we are starting on page 303, a section 3 in chapter 8 called Freedom of Will. Freedom of Will, which is such an interesting subject, really, because we all wonder about free will all the time. And sometimes it seems like we hear mixed messages about free will. What really is free will? And do we have it? And if we have it, how much of it do we have? And what does it look like? And so we'll talk a little bit about that today. We'll settle in. And then, as I was saying a little bit earlier before we officially started, that I have about a 13-minute question and answer with Helen Hamilton in a satsang that she's done. So we're going to settle in with our invocation from Al Jamai, and then we'll get started. And I think Chuck usually leads us off with the reading, so perhaps Chuck will lead us off today. Good. All right. So we're in the Purple Book. Hello, Carol. Hello, Shannon. Hello, William, Karen, Regis, Mel, Alice, Chuck, May, Cindy, and the one called Amy. I'll say hello to her too. The impulse comes to gather. The quality of how we are together, how we talk. This is our gift to the world. The purpose of every gathering is discovered. To recognize beauty and to love what is beautiful. Conversation rises out of every particle. It is all alive. Come to this empty table, a cleared place where something new can happen. When you take the hand of someone you love, what do those hands become? So we take each other's hands as we join together, and we have our conversation and our listening and our speaking from the heart. We are all each other's teachers. There are no questions that can't be asked, nothing that cannot be expressed. And so we begin with freedom of will. Freedom of will. And in this first paragraph, I just want to ask you to think as Chuck is reading. This first paragraph makes it sound like if I'm not experiencing complete peace and joy all the time, then there's something wrong with me. I must be refusing to acknowledge God's will. But that is an example of the way that the Course teaches at multiple levels. So as Chuck reads this, think about how this might seem at your first reading before you really know much about a course, and then about how you see it now. And we'll talk about that. So Chuck, can you take us to paragraph 1 on page 303, Freedom of Will? And just remember to, if you can,
The
emphasize
underline, to emphasize the underline.
yeah, which are hard to see, but
Yeah,
go ahead and give it a shot.
I will give it a shot. If God's will for you is complete peace and joy, unless you experience only this, you must be refusing to acknowledge His will. His will does not vacillate, being changeless forever. When you are not at peace, it can only be because you do not believe you are in Him, and yet He is all in all. His peace is complete, and you must be included in it. His laws govern, you because they govern everything. You cannot exempt yourself from his laws, though you can disobey them. But if you do, and only if you do, you will feel lonely and helpless because you are denying yourself everything. Whoa, they just put the whole thing in my pocket. uh, thanks, I'm done, I guess. I think that's it, right?
Yep, that's it. What do you think about that, Chuck?
Well, I just acknowledged that the suffering that I've done in the last month was all on me.
Yeah.
I, that's nice to read it though, because to get it emphasized where it all was and the way it was makes it land even more for me.
Yeah. So this is a really, it can be read as a really dualistic paragraph, can't it? Yeah, Carol shaking her head, yes. Mel, yes, yes. So what I read when I first read this was I thought it was saying that if I was unhappy or angry, then I must be outside God. I must be disobeying this separate God, right? And in every case, it must be because I had decided, Amy had decided wrongly and must be at fault, right?
That's what I heard.
And I totally get that, Chuck. Um, but this is not direct in its teaching because it's really going from multiple levels. So yes, this paragraph says we must be included in the peace of God. We must be included in that. And yes, it is saying God is all in all. And this is the most direct it gets. God is all in all. So that means that the feelings that seem like mistakes must also be all in all, right? And this is where the admonition to remember your function, to forgive yourself, comes into play, because that forgiveness reunifies you as all in all, right? Do you see that?
I appreciate hearing that.
It does. As soon as you forgive yourself, you you return. You no longer consider yourself unworthy of being in all. You are all in all. And so we can go even deeper into the non-dual teaching here than that. Forgiveness is like the key code that plugs you into the computer of oneness. And Mel, I think, is going to take us a little deeper and into this.
Well, you just really connected with we listened to a near-death experience earlier today, and yeah, it really connects to his recognition. You know, even there was no judgment there. Even when he was reflecting on, quote, his previous life and what he had done wrong, there was no sense of judgment. But he also expanded it that that wasn't who he really was. Those were just kind of stories that were playing out, would you say, Amy? I don't know. And that yeah, he was so much expansive than that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a great lead in because the non-dual teaching would say, as Mel just kind of said, was there's no Mel, there's no Chuck, there's no Amy, there's nothing separate from God. And as long as I am, and the word disobey is an unfortunate choice of words because Amy, there's no Amy that's disobeying God or Mel or Chuck that's disobeying God. It's just not recognizing what we are in truth, which is God's being, having a human experience. It's just, as Carol would say, it's all just happening, right? Carol's gonna go deeper into the non-dual teaching here. Go for it, Carol, but you have to unmute.
Hi, everybody. Boy, did I ever miss this. for the
Oh,
2 weeks, is all I can say. As soon as I hear your voice,
oh,
I'm
thank
like,
you.
oh.
Oh,
Anyway,
you're so
so
nice.
happy to be here.
We're happy
Um,
you're here.
uh, when you were saying, Amy, earlier about how, you know, we think something's wrong if we're not always, you know, at complete peace and enjoy all of the time. And when Chuck, you were reading this, and I mean, this is right, and what Amy says is right, because awareness is just speaking to itself, and it's it is what it is, and it's no mistakes happen through it. And so I guess maybe the wrong words, but if it chooses to go a different way, as opposed to the word disobey, that is what it's doing. It's not right and it's not wrong. It's just what's happening. And there isn't a person or a separate thing to do that. It's the one thing doing everything. And that is experienced in this realm by itself through a vehicle which seems to be set up to produce specific experiences. So when Amy says, yeah, it's not always going to be like, you know, absolute joy and absolute peace and that, because that's not what this illusion or realm is about. There are laws that pertain to this, whether it is permanent or temporary or a dream or not a dream. So there can be the experience of, geez, but simultaneously, absolutely knowing that it's not the truth of itself. It's not experiencing the truth of itself at that moment. So it's like, whatever.
Well,
Well,
it's
not necessarily whatever, but there is a part of a yeah,
yeah, yeah,
whatever in the absolute heartbreak or fear of whatever's going on. Like it's a bizarre kind of, but what you're saying, I mean, it's both so true. But there's not, I mean, there's just the peace is that,
it's the
is the
super,
absolute knowing. Yeah.
yeah, it's a superposition, isn't it? And so
Yeah.
we talked about that a little bit today. Yeah. Well, thank you, Carol. Thank you. Are you complete? Okay. All right, Chuck, you're up.
What I'm put my hand up for, what I really did when I read that was identify with the false self that made Chuck Hunter real rather than dealing with it from the I am.
Exactly. And that's fine. That's fine because that leads you back to remembering what you are in truth. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just as Carol said, it's the divine talking to itself, forgetting itself and remembering itself. And so this paragraph doesn't really say that directly, but it says it indirectly when it says the truth is all in all. So even the forgetting is happening in the all. And that's the non-dual understanding. And the forgiveness aspect is what allows us to essentially open the door and merge back with the all. And it does it vibrationally, to use the guide's terminology. We when we forgive it, our whole quality of tone and vibration shifts into a softer, higher one. And that allows the merging to take place. So I want to say one other thing. This paragraph, this section is about freedom of will. And so when I realize the truth is all in all, and there's nothing outside of all, and I have the right, because I'm free, to decide if my thought of inferiority or making a mistake or disobeying, I have the right, because I'm free, to decide whether that is true or not. That is my right. I have the right to know myself, and I have the will to determine what I truly am as God's being. So the thing that truly closes the loop here is that if you're not the unhappy thoughts, you're not the angry emotions, you are that which is aware of them arising. Right? That's the pathless path, as they call it, right? And that's recognizing your true nature, which is that awareness, that beautiful, boundless, infinite awareness. It doesn't mean it's fun or it feels good. Right? So Alice, you're up next.
I have a question, kind of a question to stay on where we are, but it's like using what what Chuck said. It's like if I think I'm suffering, if I say that I'm suffering, and in my awareness, I can say, well, is that true? Or like I was, or the another example is when we say, well, how would God ever let this happen? You know, why did God let there be, you know, a flood? You know, so it's just like, for me, it's like there's no place where God is not all in all. So if I think I'm suffering, I'm the one in dual. That's my duality, right? That's my lack of non-duality. It's what using what was said, you know, like, but what does it? Is it awareness that has to say, is it true that I'm suffering, or this should not have happened? For me, that's kind of like, well, that's what I think duality is like this refusing to accept that all is all. So there is no suffering, there is no wrongdoing, there is no this shouldn't have happened in oneness.
Yeah,
Is that
we could even go so far, Alice, as to say, who is refusing,
mm-hmm.
right? And we could, and what I would say the answer to that could be is there is resistance, right? I am aware, the absolute infinite God's being. Awareness is arising here that there is suffering or that there is apparent suffering. But is the suffering permanent? Is the suffering temporary? It's temporary. It's always
Is it
temporary.
real? Is it real? Not like, is it temporary? Is it
Well,
abstract?
what's
Or is
been
it
coming at me recently is that it's not real, and there is no that's really identified with Chuck to do that.
gotcha?
I'll never find that real I if I'm just looking at Chuck, I think. At least
That
that's
is,
what's been coming at me recently from Joe Goldsmith and
yeah.
Robert Adams.
I would say that you're on the right track, and I wouldn't deny the suffering. I wouldn't deny that the pain, because that's bypassing. You know, you can go right into the pain and
I guess I
feel
got to
it.
be an indigo. I could say I don't like it, it doesn't feel good, but it's in my best interest. I love it.
Exactly. I don't have to like it. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Alice, are you complete?
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
just was kind of bouncing around with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, Cindy's got something for us.
Perhaps. I mean, I watched myself raise my hand, so I guess there's something to be said. Um, Thank you for this conversation. Something struck me, Amy, when you said, I am the awareness of, I am not the blah, blah, blah. And then listening, and sinking in. And um, I'm just seeing ripples on the surface of the water. That's all. There's the stillness, the awareness in true meditation. Adyashanti suggested that another word for awareness is spirit, which was interesting to me. Um, but there is just this background still. The gentleman this afternoon was talking about this love that was so immense that the sense, me separate, the person couldn't even understand it. It's just this understanding that there is this ocean or this spirit or this stillness, and there are ripples, waves, movement, and the pain, the suffering, the whatever. It's just the movement on the awareness. And from that standpoint, there's no separation between the experience and the experiencer. There's no separation between the object. In order for there to be an object, there has to be a subject. And ultimately, for me, this paragraph is helping me recognize that there is no separation. There's just this ripple in the ocean. And as soon as we start talking about it, it feels like a separation occurs. Like, am I this or that? No, it's all just this ripple in the ocean. And you can't separate the wave from the ocean.
No, it is all in all.
Yep.
It's right there. Right there. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Cindy. All right, we're going to read paragraph 2. Anybody want to read paragraph 2 before I choose somebody? Okay, Shannon, you're next up on my screen. Would you read paragraph 2? This is going to take us more deeply into the discussion we're having.
Great. I am come as a light into the world which does deny itself everything. It does this simply by dissociating itself from everything. It is therefore an illusion of isolation maintained by fear of the same loneliness which is its illusion. I have told you that I am with you always, even to the end of the world. This is why I am the light of the world. If I am with you in the loneliness of the world, the loneliness is gone. You cannot maintain the illusion of loneliness if you are not alone.
Very Christian language, right? But it also says it all, doesn't it? I deny myself everything because I deny that I am everything, right? The illusion of isolation maintained by fear and dissociation. That means separating myself out from everything except a narrow focus on my personal emotions, my personal thoughts, and my personal experiences. That creates the illusion of isolation. Rupert Spira talks about this. It's just the narrowing and narrowing and narrowing and narrowing of focus into this small, tiny, compressed experience of me and my life and my experiences, right? So Helen Hamilton talks about this in another talk. She says, when you ask to be shown what you are, or you ask for a question, open up your aperture. Everything is an answer because you are everything. So when I ask to be shown, the dog barking is an answer. The wind is an answer, right? That's your answer because the bark and the wind are arising in your awareness and nothing is separate from you, right? I love that. You know, that's an indigenous tradition, isn't it? Really. And my white scientific understanding was, oh, that's just a bunch of mishmash. But they realized their connection to everything. We realize we're connected to everything, and the answer is in everything, right? We just don't need to make magic out of it. And that's all I'll say. Mel, what you got?
Oh, when you were talking about, getting, compressing and smaller, it just really sounds like, coming into a bodily experience is all of that. And that's where the separation comes because we have this definition now. And when he says, I am the light of the world, that's re-identifying, not as the form, but as the light, which cannot be separate. I mean, you can't take a little piece of light out and separate it out.
Yeah.
And since we're all light, you can't be a separate light. We're all, and so that's a whole different, or energy. You can't take a little piece of it, So by re-identifying as who we really are, it gets you over that illusion of this form that we seem to be stuck in.
Yeah. Yeah. And we can take anything that is available to us to pierce that illusion. Anything. It's all good. Mel, you want to read paragraph 3?
Yes.
Thank you.
My purpose then is to overcome the world. I do not attack it, but my light must dispel it because of what it is. Light does not attack darkness, but it does shine it away. If my light goes with you everywhere, you shine it away with me. Yeah. The light becomes ours, and you cannot abide in darkness any more than darkness can abide anywhere you go. The remembrance of me is the remembrance of yourself and of him who sent me to you.
So that's what you just said, Mel.
Yeah, so funny. It's so funny. I was listening, I think, The Chosen, because right now near Easter, right before Easter, and I think Jesus speaks, I have overcome the world, that I have overcome this form, this physical, pointing to his quote, resurrection, his recognizing that, the body isn't who we, that we are the light. So,
Yeah. The word overcome strikes me as using force.
Yeah, it does.
Right.
Yeah.
So the light is its own power, right? It's its own self-illumination. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't oppose anything. It just is what it is. As William likes to remind us of just being present now. Right? Now. It needs no words, no nothing. The power of the light is knowing. And it's knowing that the light is. That's it. That's the power of it. It's just knowing what it is. All right, paragraph 4. William's got his hand up. Do you want to read paragraph 4, William?
No, I was just going to make a comment.
Okay.
Wow. So much seems I'm here and I'm not here.
Mm-hmm.
And just being so silent which is now, that quietness, and I see it's like a sticky mess. I just get caught up as the identity, the image, the image. I spend all of my life massaging, manipulating the image. I'm so aware of that. Just my goodness, it's all made up, but boy, it seems so real. I love listening to all the data, the situations, but at the same time, I'm really not here. And that's the feeling I get. I'm fascinated by what's going on in life, and I'm not here. And I go back and forth.
Is
And
there any separation between going back and forth? Where's the separation?
I see that image so involved with life. It's excited. It has emotions, feelings, thoughts, everything. But when there's no I, there's no Bill, there's no I. It's almost like I, for me, I have such a strong pull. It's almost like I have to be so vigilant and notice that, oops, there I go. And I'm out of my silence. I'm out of the awareness, the one that doesn't change. And I just like when I was reading Gangaji this morning, that stop, tell the truth, tell the truth, know the truth, know the truth. The know the truth is this only moment now. And that's the truth. And that phrase, truth sets free, thy will, somehow it's knowing that. But boy, anytime I try to talk about it like now or listen to other people, I lose it, I lose it, I lose it. And then I go quiet and all of a sudden, and I guess it so happens so quickly that I can just let go and I'm knowing, and then I'm back into the soup and I just play, 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 play. Whoops. And that's where I love when I listen to different ones of you. It's almost like it's a feeling. I feel you're speaking, for instance, Amy. There's just this loving feeling inside where I'm not here and you're not here, but I hear your words, but then I'm not paying attention to them oftentimes. I mean, I love the way they sound and everything. And then I just feel in the moment, oh, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to understand. I don't have to do, I'm just here. So, oh, it just so, it fills me up. And then I'm back trying to understand and compete, and prove, and I don't know. I do know the knowing, the knowing, the knowing. So thank you. I like listening to people read.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, Shannon's got her hand raised. Thank you, William. Thank you. We'll go to Shannon.
I had to step away just a second, so you might have already answered this, but this paragraph just it's the thing that makes me not want to study the Course in Miracles because to overcome the world is God. So, and then the footnote 14, what is it refers to the fact that the world is darkness. And still in a Course in Miracles class on Monday night that I've been in forever, and I love the people, but the teacher says that this cannot be heaven. It can only be a reflection of heaven. And he's a fundamental, anyway, it doesn't matter.
I
Yeah.
got it.
So
I get it. Yeah. Maybe you missed it, but I think I said that word overcome is a word I don't like. I think I think that's it's an unfortunate choice of words because I mean, and it answers the question right here. I do not attack. Overcome implies attack, doesn't it? It applies resistance, power over. I overcome. but the light is self-illuminating. It just shines. And the world, there's nothing apart from God.
Right.
There's nothing. And if there is, then God is not God, right? Then the absolute is not the absolute. The all is not the all. So
Yeah.
all of this is a beautiful experience that we are having as God's being. And there's nothing wrong with it. So thank you. I'm going to ask Cindy, and maybe Shannon, you'll read um, after, maybe you'll read paragraph 4 after Cindy.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I'm laughing, Amy, because you said when we get to paragraph 5, and then you wanted to play this 13-minute clip.
I know.
Um, when I was listening to
Okay.
Shannon, my hand went up, and this is what I wanted to say. I'm going to do it real quick. Every time the deeper I get into the truth teachings, the more I fall in love with A Course in Miracles.
Mm.
Key to that is I no longer listen to anybody else's interpretation, right? We're having this conversation about bringing I don't know, an open door is very unique to me because everyone is heard and something else is going on. But in general, what I hear the Course saying is be very careful, be very slow. There is only one. We're going to help you awaken from the dream. So there's a lot of the dream is full of duality, right? So before I open the course, before I read a single page, I slow down, I stop, I step in, I ask for the truth to be shown, and then I allow what's going to serve me. Um, and the more I do that, the more I fall in love with the teachings of A Course in Miracles. I find so much truth in it. But just like everything else, it is covered with so many different ways of interpretation. And even for me, every time I hit it, I get exactly what I need, even if I'm reading the same paragraph. So the Course is calling you. You might as well give up, right? This idea that you have choice in the matter, it's just, Melanie will tell you, it's just happening, right? The idea is, why are you listening to somebody else's voice in the interpretation? You have everything you need. So, you know, ask your teacher to let you know what you need every time you open the course. And I promise you, you're going to have a tremendously different experience.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's great. Okay, paragraph 4. You were in darkness until God's will was done completely by any part of the sonship. When it was perfectly accomplished by all. How else could it be perfectly accomplished? My mission was simply to unite the will of the sonship with the will of the Father by being aware of the Father's will myself. This is the awareness I came to give you, and your problem in accepting it is the problem of this world. Dispelling it is salvation, and in this sense, I am the salvation of the world.
All right, that's very dualistic language, but the message is completely non-dual. Do you see it?
Mhm.
You see it? You all see it? Okay. All right, we're going to go to paragraph 5, but before we do, I want to play this clip of Helen Hamilton asking or answering a question because it's so beautiful. Paragraph 5 is about love, and it's really dualistic. But so before we read that, I want you to listen to this clip of Helen answering this woman's question, and maybe Cindy will put that up for us. It's
Right.
about 13 minutes long.
All right. If I think I got it right around 56 minutes, and I'll play it until.
Okay,
All right. If I go too far, you just let me know. Yeah,
I will. Okay, thank you, Cindy, so much.
of course.
Stay with it, gang, because She's really patient and
senses
lovely.
also. So I would need to set that aside, of course, but it felt like there has to be like some permanent aspect to love that doesn't go. So it was kind of like, yeah, like I didn't know, I guess, whether should I set it aside or not, because and it's kind of the same thing, it feels like almost with because the self can show up, as awareness or as silence or as beingness, as presence, a sense of I. So it's like the flavor seems to be changing, like it's kind of showing up in different ways. So, but of course, there's a permanent aspect to that also. Like, so it's kind of this confusion going on. Like, do I set this aside or not?
Should we do method 2 now with what is love? Should we ask, or we could ask what you really are, and keep discarding any phenomenal answers until whatever we find is permanent. We recognize that to be love. But it's probably easier to ask what is love if you want to. So just any and all answers that come, and we'll just discern and see which answers we're going to keep and which ones we aren't. So what is love?
Like joy, or it's also a sensation in the body. There's also like I'm experiencing this in the body too.
Yeah. So that sensation, is that permanent or not permanent? Will it always be here, this sensation?
Well, the sensation in the body, no, but yeah, it feels like there's some permanent aspect to it, like something that is not coming and going.
But the sensation itself, just for now, we can set that aside. It's there, but we're not going to use that as an answer to this question, because we want to know the fullest definition of love, right? It might also be a sensation, but it's not going to help us find what's permanent. So just for now, we'll just leave that be, and we'll come back and ask again, what is love?
Some contraction, I guess, in the
right here, right? I can feel it right now. Yeah. So is that excuse me, is that permanent or not permanent?
No.
So even while it's there, we can set that aside as a answer to this question. Again, it's not wrong. None of these answers are wrong. We're just looking for what's permanent, unchanging, and continuous. What is love?
Contraction in the heart chakra now?
Temporary or permanent?
Temporary.
What is love?
Again, I think it was first in the heart chakra, kind of moving up to the throat chakra, the contraction of something. And but also joy, sense of joy.
So that movement, is it temporary or permanent?
Temporary.
And you're getting really good at this now, right? That joy, temporary or permanent?
I guess temporary, but something wanted to hold on to that, like not, I don't want to put it aside or something like that.
And let's remember, we're not getting rid of it. We can still enjoy the joy. We're just not going to put it in our definition of what love is. So we're only excluding it from the definition, not from our actual experience. It can totally be here.
Oh yeah, that's, I think, what was happening, like mind, I guess, attributing.
You have to push it away from my experience. Yeah.
Yes, in order to, yeah.
So these phenomena are getting more and more subtle. Let's carry on. What is love?
Again, joy.
Temporary or permanent? Laughter as well?
Yeah, same thing happening. It's temporary, but something, again, this thought was happening, like equating, putting it aside to, like, I have to, equating, not defining myself as that with, I have to kind of push it away or,
and that which is really resisting letting go of joy as a definition. Temporary or permanent?
Temporary.
What is love?
Just vastness.
Temporary or permanent, this vastness?
Permanent.
Very, very, very permanent. All those things we set aside in our definition of love are inside this totally being allowed to be, right? The contraction in the throat, the joy, the energy moving, all of that is just in the body, even it's just inside this vastness of love.
It's I like it. I don't think I could call this vastness love. I don't know. Maybe it's because
Let me ask you
this wrong definition.
Let me ask you a few questions about this vastness then, if I can.
Please.
Can it destroy anything? Can it reject anything? Does it need anything at all that appears inside it to be different than it is? If that isn't love, then I really don't know what love is. If we look not so much at how it feels, that vastness, because it doesn't really feel like anything, but if we look at how it is with phenomena, we see right there's something we don't find in any phenomenon at all. It does not want to change anything, cannot destroy or get rid of anything. Totally, totally fascinated with everything that appears inside it.
Look how fascinated this vastness is. We've even a thought, when a thought arises, go straight to that thought, right? What is that? Even a thought, something that the mind would say is unlovable, it loves even that.
It doesn't want or need to do anything about it.
Does it even see anything imperfect? Whatever appears in this vastness that you are, that we're calling love, does it even see imperfection and say that, that shouldn't really be there, that should go away?
It cannot define anything.
What does it see then? When you look at vastness, what do you see?
I think only myself.
That's love, isn't it? Timeless, formless love that doesn't even need anything to love, and yet does completely love everything that appears inside it, inside you.
Yeah, it's not like I guess it is really what is showing up inside it. It is the same.
Yeah. Is what appears inside the vastness any different than the vastness? If it's all arising out of it?
It can't be different.
So just formless, infinite love, making these shapes out of itself to play with and to pretend to love something, you know?
Yeah, I love how I said pretend to love.
Well, I can seem to split myself into millions and billions and trillions of different things so that I can fall in love an infinite number of times and then fall in love with myself, you know, the vastness. And then fall in love with all the ways I'm appearing. For literally forever. I can do that forever.
Yeah, just like a play.
Ever more amazing ways to appear and disguise myself. And then I reckon, oh, that's me too. Then there's a love affair right there, isn't there?
Yeah, that's really love.
I think we nailed it. I think we did it.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing. Yeah. Yeah. So that addresses Chuck's first point about having these thoughts and not liking himself because he's having the thoughts, right? But it's just love loving itself, right? Right. And so once you stop judging, then you see that you're just the love all along. And for William's question, you know, wanting to be in the silence and then not being in the silence, it's all still love. You can't get away from the love, right? Whether you're in silence and you're contemplating your own infinite self, or whether you're completely forgotten your infinite self and you're having a shit fit somewhere, it's all still love, right? And so the first sentence of the next paragraph says, the world must despise and reject me because the world is the belief that love is impossible. And that's where we're going to start next week. And I wanted us to see this Helen Hamilton piece before we read that first sentence, because I want us to really be in our knowing of what love is before we understand what we've rejected, what we said is impossible. Right? I want us to really understand. And if we want to, we can watch this clip again. before we start. Mel, thank you.
I know you were talking about overcome the world, but I think that's why, because Jesus was expressing love, love your enemies, and the world was the whole sense of let's despise and reject me. So he was really presenting overcoming that belief of fear. And so that's probably, why he used such a strong word, because it was an illusion and he had to dispel and reject in me, because he was showing what love truly is. So,
That's beautiful.
okay.
Thank you. Yeah, that's beautiful, Mel. Yeah. So next week we will start with paragraph 5. And I will read our closing invocation now and tell you that I love you all and that I am so glad that we are doing this together. And I really appreciate it. It's such a beautiful, beautiful gathering. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, fire worshiper, lover of leaving. This is not a caravan of despair. It does not matter that you have broken your vows 1,000 times. Still come, and yet again. We'll see you at 4 o'clock next week. I will look forward to it. Until then, go out and break your vows. Have your experience. Love all that is, because it's what you are. Mwah.